Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2011. You can see the results from the live trading session this morning right here. We have 12 ticks on the ES and minus 7 ticks on the YM. The YM we had one losing trade, and the ES we had two winning trades. All right. We actually have trades set up right now. We're waiting to get filled on. A short here from 10.5 on the ES, and a short over here on the YM from 438. All right. Currently, that's what we're looking for. That's where we're looking to get filled. All right. I'll even show you the setups a little bit here. Right here, we have a bearish cross and a pull away from the BBC. We have a little bit of bearish divergence over here. So what I'm looking for is price to pull back up to the BBC right here, and I'll short that with a 7x20 bracket. Over here on the ES, we have a bubble. Right here, a bubble is when the red line breaks away from the black line, like this on the outside. After that happens, the first pullback to the BBC is usually good for a 2-point bounce. All right. Now, the only issue is that we have this area right down below us here at 1208, 1207, 1208. So we cannot enter below 1210. All right. I think the price is going to get pushed right down into this area right here. That's what I think. Same thing over here on the YM. If we get filled over here, I think it'll get down here to 40, 405 in that area. All right. Now, the morning's trades. Let's just go back here. I'll scroll back a little bit to the morning's trades. And I'm letting my charts catch up with me here a little bit. All right. This was our first trade this morning. Had we not had this area right down below us this morning, this would have been a perfect opportunity for a short trade right up here. We had the bubble and the pullback up to the BBC, but we had this area, so we waited for price to drop down through that area. Okay, I just entered on the short trade on the ES. Right, I am short the ES right now at 10.25. That said, we had this other opportunity here where we had the bubble on the outside of the bands. Price pulled down here, pulled the BBC through this area, pulled back up to it, and we had almost no risk used on the trade before it went down to hit our profit target down there at plus 2 points. Okay. The next trade we had was over here, but we didn't have any bubbles, so we didn't take that. In here, we weren't going to trade inside the zones. Then the BBC was inside the box. We finally got outside the box over here. You can see. Price got outside the box, pulled the BBC through it. We had this bubble here, so we were looking for our first pullback down to the BBC, which we got right here. And we took that one. Once price got up here to this this double top right here, which happened to be the high of the day at the time, I moved my stop up to plus 1 point. And it came and took me out at plus 1 point. So I got 1 point out of that one and 2 points out of the first one. And that is what gave us the 12 ticks that we had there. Right now we're short. We're in a short trade right now from 12.10 1/4. So we have whatever is happening right now. But after that, price moved up and we did not get filled over here. We tried to get filled right here on this long trade, but it didn't pull back far enough to fill us, and then it pulled up and we took the order off. Over here we needed another bubble, but we didn't get it. Price pulled back up here. We had a double top at the high of the day, so we didn't take that. Then we didn't have a bubble, so we really didn't have any more opportunity here. That brings us to where we are right now, short from right here. All right. On this one, we had the bubble and the pullback up to the BBC, so we shorted right there. We had an MIT order on there at 12.10.50. So as soon as it ticked on 12.10.50, it entered us in with a tick of slip down here at 12.10 1/4. Right, so we are short 12.10 1/4 right now. If this trade gets 1 point profit in it, I'll take my risk off the trade. I have 2 points risk, and I'm looking for 2 points profit. I anticipate price closing down below these lines right here and moving down into this area right here. That's what I expect it to do. In support of this trade, we also had a bearish cross over here on the 10K, and price pulled back up, or it should pull back up here actually, to the BBC up here at 12.11. which is what it seems to be trying to do right now. It should pull back up there to 1211 and then push down here to this support level that it's printed down here. Okay, that's what it should do. This YM trade isn't looking as attractive as it was a few minutes ago, but we're just going to leave it on, and we'll see what happens. All right. That is the morning session right there. All right, I'm going to let these trades play out here while the recording is still going, so everybody can just watch these live trades play out in the recording. All right. You see this started to move in our favor. We didn't get a close below these lines over here, but we got a close right on them. We should move down here to the swing pivot, which is right here at 875. We should get down there pretty quickly. All right, once it gets down there, I'll take the risk off the trade, and then we'll just let the thing go. All right, that's what should happen. Now, what does happen? Well, we don't know yet. All right, but we finished the morning with -7 ticks here on the YM and +12 ticks over here on the ES. That is what we did in the live trading session this morning. Okay. Yep, and we also put this trade on. Okay. A little teaser there. That was we're going to discuss that in the partners meeting Thursday night. Okay, that was one contract with limited risk. And it's actually still open. That trade is still live right now. You'll have to watch it in the video. It'll be out on YouTube in a little while. I'm not sure what that means, Cliff. All right, now what we should see here, what I want to see here, is price closing down below these lines right here. That's what we need to see for this thing to work out. All right, if price starts to close up above here, then this trade is probably going to go against us. We don't want it to get up above the BBC over here. All right, I wouldn't be shocked if it pulled up to the BBC over here at 1211, 1211 and a quarter. But anything beyond that, and this trade may not work out. So we'll see. We will see on that one. There was one other thing that I showed this morning in the live trading room, and I'll show you that right here. Okay, right over here this morning is where we would have been triggered in, or you would have been sent an alert anyway. It's gone from 22 to 24.5 in that time frame. Okay, that particular one anyway. So, all right. Over here we're looking at 11,440, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take my YM trade off right now and wait because I don't like the way this bar is painting on the pull-up. Okay. All right. Now we're at 11 and a quarter over here on the BBC on the 10,000 contract chart, which is where I had kind of expected it to pull back to. Okay, so we should get a bounce off of that right now. All right, if we don't get a bounce off of that, and if it starts to go up above 11 and a quarter, then the ES trade is going to be in trouble right here. And the YM trade, you see the way it pulled all the way back up here with all this momentum in a single bar like that? That is not great for me. I would rather see some weakness. Okay, you see that one just closed. It came up and tapped it and closed right there. That's right. That's what I'm looking for here. You know, on the 10K, I'm looking for it to bounce down. If we close down below this line right here on the 10K, you know, that would be down at pretty much our entry. If we get a close down there on this bar, then I think this trade is going to work out well. All right, it's just taking a few minutes. I am recording this whole thing, so you had a green line on the DMT. Yeah, we did have a green pierce of the red envelope over here on the DMT as well, suggesting a 5 to 6 point move down from this level right here. All right. So the question becomes risk. How much risk do we have? The trade over here, we would have been entering here at 11 and a quarter, and we would have had our stop up at 13 and a quarter. As things stand, our stop is at 12 and a quarter because we entered over here on the 4-tick range on the BBC. Now, normally, I would probably have waited until the BBC was outside of the box, because it's not really outside of the box right there. But I was jumping the gun a little bit, trying to get it into the recording here. Hopefully that's not going to work against me here. And we do have a partner, George, who had done a bunch of research on that, and said that oftentimes if it's right on the BBC like that, the BBC's right on the elbow extension like that, it'll work out. So 5 to 6 successful trades a week is what he said is the net. So we're going to let that go, and we're looking over here. That looks okay. We need to see a bearish close over here on the YM. All right. If we had, let's say we had a down close below the MA1 over here on the YM, I would short the YM, expecting it to get down here to the area down here. Okay. All right. I'm going to open it up to questions right now, even though we're still recording. This is going to be a long recording on YouTube. I may actually have to cut the recording in half or something. Why don't I just make a good cutting point right here? All right. So far this morning we're -7 ticks on the YM and +6 ticks with an open trade here on the ES. The live trading room this morning we had +12 ticks on the ES and -7 ticks on the YM. Okay, that would be a good place to to cut the video if I have to cut it later. It may just be too big because the stuff that we put out on YouTube, there's a size limit out there. Alright, now over here on the YM, you can see why I was waiting for the down close. Okay, and over here on the ES, we're still waiting. Our risk is up here at 12 and a quarter. We're not going to move it up. We're just going to leave the risk exactly where it is and look for even a doji over here right on top of the BBC would be okay for us on this 10K trade over here. The cycle's not terribly in favor of a long trade over here on the 10K, but we'll just have to wait and see what it does. What we need to see over here is a close down below these lines, and then it should push right down into here. Right. So I suppose the only question now is just a matter of whether we have the risk in the right spot or not. Well, you know what, guys? I'm going to have to shut the recording off. It's just going to be too big, so I'm going to shut it off right now.